Ron Rush here, West Coast Classic Cougar, and today I want to talk about doing a heater core in your 1967, 1968 Mustang or Cougar. This doesn't really apply to the 65, 66 Mustangs, even though they're very similar. Couple differences because of the way I'm doing it. I'm doing it the cheat way. The cheat way is to only take off your cover and leave the box behind. And some of you right away are saying, lazy, it doesn't take that much time to take out the whole box. True and true. And no, I'm not just being lazy. What I have today is a very low mile original 1968 Cougar with 50-some thousand original miles. And my goal on a Survivor is to make it like nobody was ever there. So I want to show you by going over here. Okay, here we are. Now this one actually isn't that bad, but some of them have a ton of sound deadener here. See that goobed on sound deadener? If I take this box all the way out, and if your heater motor is in bad shape, you have to, you're gonna have to cut away all that sound deadener. And like I say, some of them are even worse. They really gobbed it up. Look at this. This fastener is even, pretty much showing. The one down there is showing. This one's goobered up. Anyway, I don't want it to look like anybody was ever here when you open the hood, because so much of this car is this way. It's never been apart. And you only get that once. You ever take the car apart, they're never put back together the same way. Notice you got your your ground strap here. It's a good time to check it. You want that intact with the covering, or you'll have all kinds of issues electrically, phantom issues that, oh, why is my gauge not working? Well, that's one. Somebody actually went a little extra and put another ground strap here, even though it's got to the hood. It's a little ground tab, we'll call this here. But anyway, enough explanation on that. That's why I don't want to disturb this car. Secondly, this still has the paper cardboard plenum there on the tranny tunnel. And almost all those have been changed to plastic because cardboard was a bad idea for moisture and heat. And, well, they weren't planning on making these cars last 60 or 100 years. But I want to leave that heater core in place. So let's walk over here and I'm going to show you how I got it out. Okay. Yeah, it's a mess in there. But number one, first thing you do is you got to get behind the heater box. And I don't think you can really do that in a 65-6 Mustang from memory. But on a Cougar Mustang, 67, 68, there's about that much room back there. And you can actually get your screwdriver back there to get the upper and lower hose clamp off. And it takes a little finagling, but yeah, that's your first goal, is to get those loose. Next, if you look up here, let's see if I can put a flashlight in there and get in there. Heater cables, get those out of the way. Next, there's a seal right here. Rubber seal, up here to the plenum. There it is, I got it in my hand. Yeah, you need to break the seal on that by getting a screwdriver underneath it and popping the seal, because it kind of molds itself, bonds itself to the plenum. Next thing is you got a series of these spring clips all around the plenum. Now my box is in good shape. Some of them have got soft over the years and spongy, and if you go underneath it, when you pop it off, you're actually breaking the ridge that these clip onto. So whenever possible, you're supposed to, this is how you remove a heater clip. You open them, you'll go, and it'll just open right up. Do not pry them off, but here's a caveat. There's no way, if you leave this in here, that you will ever be able to get the side ones off without prying them off. See down that crack? So here's how you do it. You got to have a screwdriver like this one, You know, don't cheat. Go get yourself, even if you get a Harbor Freight one, get a screwdriver like this, about this size, with a little tip, and you're going to shine your flashlight in there, and you're going to go in and you're going to trip those clips. Trip, trip. Anyway, those are the tough ones. The rest of them around the perimeter aren't so bad. So once you can do all that, then you can get the, well, and don't forget, you got a glove box you got to remove. That's obvious, but got to mention it. So anyway, once you do all that, we'll walk back over here. Then you have this guy in your hand, and you can start cleaning it up. And of course, we sell the seal kit. They're cheap. They're like under 15 bucks. And you'll spend some time peeling this all off and scraping and maybe lightly bead blasting. And you got this here. Don't skip the gaskets. They're cheap. It's not that hard. And your car, it'll have less wind noise, wind leaks. And when your heater's off, you want to actually have it off. But if these seals are bad, the hot air will find its way on a hot day and cook you out. That's no fun. Do not, I repeat, do not put an aluminum core. Here's the original, brass copper. And believe it or not, they still make brass copper. We sell them. The aluminum ones are junk, flat out. Just spend the extra money, brass copper. I know it's painful. They're like double or sometimes triple the cost of the aluminum made in China ones. I think this one, no, this one's made in Mexico. Anyway, can't stress this enough. But anyway, this is for the guy that has a very original car and he wants to do the path of least resistance, meaning leave no trace, and get in there and surgically remove it. Like I said, if this is leaked for years and years and years, this will get all spongy, and you'll go to pry those clips off that I was talking about here, and see that ridge? That'll break off. So yours might not be a candidate for this type of removal if you need more work than what mine did. But mine is pretty dang solid, so I'll be able to snap the clips back in place. And putting these back on is no fun. You'll have to figure that out. You'll get a bigger screwdriver in there, and you'll pry against the kick area where your kick panel is. You got to take your sill plate and your kick panel off, get in there with a screwdriver, and you'll have that clip wedged in there, and you'll have to turn your screwdriver, and that'll force it on there. And there's been a couple times where I think, well, maybe it doesn't really need 2 clamps here. Maybe one's enough. And you hide it in the ashtray for the next owner to figure that out. But anyway, I hope that's helpful. I looked on YouTube. There wasn't a ton of information about this. And hope this makes you empowered. It's so much easier than air conditioning heater core removal. You don't have to take out your console. You don't have to take out your seat. You don't have to schedule 8 hours. So I'd encourage you to do this yourself, because you got good visual in there. You can just sit there right next to your car and reach in, or sit on the sill and get in there. I won't be sore and tired and angry when this job's over. It's a rewarding job. So we'll see you later.